Alright, hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we have even more dev news, more what the devs are talking about in terms of the current patch, next patches, and also a bunch of things in between, as you can see right over here. And I'm also going to go over some questions. Again, ask more questions. The more questions you guys ask, the more I'm going to add towards the end of the videos, just answering your questions. It's not going to happen every video, but, you know, I try to make it as frequent as possible. Okay, so we got two questions over here at the end as well from the previous video. Gonna answer those as well. But yeah, let's go through all of these threads and see what they're talking about, see what's been going on, and go from there. Alrighty, so first we have on just the beta patch notes thread, we have a person asking, so there are some AI improvements in 1.2.5 works in tournaments only, which makes even low tier troops perform better, right? Question mark. I don't think that is right at all. It was pretty much to make tournaments better in terms of like, I guess like how the experience is. So the higher you are, the harder it gets, because the higher level troops usually don't die out in the lower levels. They kind of progress better than lower level troops, which should not progress too good because obviously they're not good fighters. They're low tier troops, if that kind of makes sense. But the dev says, no, there are general combat AI score calculation changes. Yeah, so combat AI scores, like whenever you press skip battle, I'm pretty sure that's what he means. You know, they do like one of those like automated or like random generator, but like, you know, obviously the higher tier troop is higher in favor, but sometimes the other roll happens and like the looter can get through over like a tier 5 troop, right? But now that doesn't really happen. Tournament participants in later rounds just receive an additional bonus to their score. To my understanding, there is no direct AI improvement either. The score determines how well a character performs, how quickly and accurately they block, how often they feint. So exactly, so the ones that do that better, they get promoted to the higher ranks. Therefore, always, the higher you are in the tournaments, you're gonna have to pretty much tighten up. There's not gonna be an easy tournament. There's not gonna be, you know, a tournament that like, it might be easy for you depending on like what kind it is, what kind of weapons you can use, what scenarios you're in, because there's different ones, you know, depending on what region you're in Bannerlord. But they still should be harder overall, not because the AI got better. It's just the better AI that was already there technically got pushed up instead of just like sometimes being completely knocked out of the tournaments, and then the tournament becomes very easy because you're in the second to last round and you're facing off against like a looter. You know what I mean? Like it makes it so it's a little bit harder. Changing it changes the performance, but not the underlying system. There it is. I think. Oh, also, we have a person asking, do I understand correctly that according to Tales 4, the community tales number 4, we've gone over it. We go over all the community tales. Community tales, if you don't know, it's usually just like they explain like what's currently going on in terms of like development, like two little paragraphs, and then they show off like the community, YouTube videos, screenshots, artwork, mods, stuff of that nature. And I kind of incorporate them into my videos, however they come, right? Okay, so the person asked, do I understand correctly that according to Tales 4, the 1.2.5 beta patch is a bit delayed and won't be coming out in November, aka today or tomorrow? That is correct. Yeah, they said a couple weeks. That's what the other developer said. This developer says, yes, and given the reports regarding battle stability and AI overperformance, that's the right choice to me. There it is. So he thinks that's the right choice in terms of development to delay it because there are some issues and some overperformance or whatever. I don't know exactly what that means. Maybe the AI is now too good or something of that nature. But oh yeah, and the whole battle stability, that is also a big problem that I saw. There's a big issue, and I think we're going to talk about it as well. Yeah, right over here. We can just skip to it right now. It's a good way to skip to it. But there was a bug with battles. Game keeps crashing in battles with no crash report. There's been a lot of that lately. And we did go over in the last video how they have pretty much said, okay, we're going to look into the problem because a lot of people are having it right over here. We're aware of the issue and we're working on it. Thanks for sharing the details, right? And now we have another update to that from yesterday or today. Sometimes like the times be kind of off. They say, we believe we've identified the issue and we're pushing the fix for with the next patch. So it looks like we might be getting patch 1.2.6 even before the move to live, if I'm being honest. So, and it looks by this answers saying that it was the right choice to delay it. I'm thinking they're delaying it because of the battle issue, like they state, literally they state battle stability and the AI overperformance. So the stuff they added, unfortunately, now needs a little bit of tuning before that move to live happens, and that looks like that is the reason. People are gonna be mad, but it is what it is, man. Listen, I'm just, you know what I mean? I like someone who pointed out in the comments that, like, he's just the narrator, man. I like that. You know what I mean? I'm just the narrator, man. All right? Listen, let me do my thing, all right? But next we have is this thread saying, will the 3D conversion background come back one day? So what they're talking about is pretty much whenever you talk to an AI, right, or an NPC, you see like a 2D background. It looks like it's kind of moving, but that's just because the camera's moving, right? But it's a 2D background, and then it's the 3D NPCs making their animations as you talk to them, right? And then the developer said, to my knowledge, there's no TD conversation in the game. Quick conversations use a simplified 3D scene to make them. Well, quick. For settlements, you can still visit the character to enter a conversation in the full scene. But then he came back and said, verified with a relevant dev that the background is indeed 2D. Sorry for the confusion. So it is 2D. Having said that, it is unlikely that this will be changed given the impact it has on performance. So unfortunately, we might not see like a 3D one, but this is a good mod. What do you call it? Opportunity. If you want to make a good mod, a good UI mod, because UI mods, they go kind of hard. People sleep on the UI mods. They always talk about like you know, the full conversion mods, full this, but the small UI fix mods, you know what I mean? They get the downloads, they get the boom. If you're looking for, like, you know what I mean, like the most downloaded mods, it's usually the UI stuff. So if you're like a mod creator looking to, you know, make a big jump in your, you know, I don't know, portfolio or whatever. I don't know exactly how that works, right? But this is a good idea. Make a 3D background. Obviously, it's going to impact performance, but mods usually don't care about that. They do, obviously, for a little bit. They obviously want to make the game still stable as you play their mod. But usually, if you play with a lot of mods, you kind of know that you need a better system. If your system can't currently run Bannerlord like as is, adding a ton of mods to it is not going to help. Is the best way I can kind of say it, right? So, but with that being said, since the devs aren't going to do it, I think that it would be a good mod. Moving on. Next, we have another thread saying, allow the players to go back to the previous beta version. They did talk about this already, and I think they're going to bring it up right over here, actually. Yep. But hello, the player says, hello, I think the title is explicit enough, so especially now that 1.2.5 crashes, he's pretty much asking, can they go back to 1.2.4? All right. And if before I even go over this, I'm pretty sure it goes along the lines of like why they don't want to split the beta. Because if you go into your Steam, I kind of go into my Steam right now. Let's go to my library right over here. Right over here, if we go to properties, betas, and then if you look over here, I'm currently on this one because I'm playing the Bannerlord online mod. The video's coming soon, by the way. Kind of enjoying it, kind of not. Very slow. We'll see. I'll try some of the other multiplayer mods as well while I'm at it. I'm recording as I'm, you know, doing all this stuff. But as you can see, if you go to the beta, we only have one choice of beta, which is 1.2. But if you are in the beta, it's gonna auto upgrade whenever, or auto install whenever the new one comes out. Like whenever 1.2.4 came out, 1.2.5 came out, it auto installed, but under the 1.2 beta version, right? But as you can see, when we go to lives, past lives, we have all the way until 1.7. And the reason they keep these alive is, you know, I'm pretty sure for mod compatibility, because a lot of mods, you know, they run on different versions, so it's good to have a lot of different versions so mods can work with that. And also, I'm pretty sure it helps them with like testing and figuring other stuff out as well. But yeah. Unfortunately, we don't have a split for the beta because they pretty much said something along the lines of like, oh, if we split the beta, then people are gonna report issues to us that don't actually have to do with the beta that we're currently working on, and they already might have been fixed. It will just cause confusion and stuff of that nature, right? But let's see if that's something along the lines, right? It might be a little bit different. All right, the community manager says, hello, we addressed this earlier, and here we go. This is not something we can accommodate for a number of reasons. Beta is provided in advance of a live patch with the intention of gathering feedback from the community at an earlier point of the patch publishing process, allowing us to act on it before the patch reaches the broader player base. Yeah, because if you didn't know, if you really didn't know, like, I don't know exactly what the percentage is, but like they said like a huge number play the live patch instead of the beta patch. You know what I mean? Even before the move to what do you call it? The move to PlayStation and Xbox. Like, it's always been this way. It had only increased obviously because they only have access to the live patch. But even when it was just like mainly on Steam and Epic Games, which, you know, Epic Games Store didn't really have, you know, Steam had the biggest marketplace for Bannerlord. Most people still played on live, which was surprising because I always stayed on beta, but that's because I made content for it. You know what I mean? So it kind of makes sense for me that I want to stay on top of it. But most people did play it on live, which did surprise me. Next, they say beta hotfixes aren't announced on Steam and our website, just on forums and on YouTube.com's just Stand Games. You know what I mean? Google, I mean YouTube Stand Game. You know what I'm talking about. Well, on here too, man. That's what I'm talking about. Fewer people are therefore likely to see that a new beta has been released and switch to it. Okay. There's a limit to the number of branches we can have via the Steam beta system. If we were to include all the beta patches and hotfixes, which are usually more frequent than their live counterparts, oh yeah, that's also a thing. It would be too much, you know, because there's a lot of hotfixes that really go into it. We would need to start removing older patches at an earlier point to free up space. Taking into account the number of players that play on beta, minuscule compared to live, there it is. I don't believe that this is the right path for the broader player base that still plays on older patches. There it is. So, unfortunately, majority wins. You know what I mean? Is all they're saying, you know? Just how it works. And, you know, it is what it is, baby. Next, and this is what we were talking about, the battle fix. It is going to happen. So, 1.2.6, possibly. We'll see how that goes. And lastly, I want to talk about this right over here, which is armor crafting. Is it ever happening? And just before we even get to this, what he has to say here, previously they said no, they're only going to stick to weapon crafting because it would be too much of redoing the armor and everything, and it just wouldn't fit into the game model they're working at currently. That's pretty much what they said. Not exactly to the point, not quotation marks, but in that direction, right? But they said it could be a mod. I'm pretty sure they even said, like, you know, someone could do a mod if they want to, you know. But, the community manager says, what's it called? We currently don't have any plans to add the ability to craft armor. If you take a look at our modding documentation, okay, for weapon smithing and crafting pieces, okay, just showing that, you can learn a bit more on how the existing systems work, but essentially it requires individual weapon parts, which are then in-game combined together. Should we choose to do it the same for armor, then all/most of the existing armor pieces would need to be redone. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure how they made it was the weapons and how the armors look in the game, while they look like the same because, you know, one goes on the character, they're both visibly there, they're both like in the inventory, but I'm pretty sure they're different things when it comes into the code because the weapons can actually be made and then used. The armor can't be made, it just can be bought. So it's just, you know, it's a static thing that's on your character, and it's a static thing that's in like the shops. But the weapon also is in the smithy, so it's like another system that is not currently integrated with the armor. Listen, I might be completely wrong, but in my head, I feel like I'm right. It is what it is. Moving on. But yeah, it doesn't look like it will be done. Now moving on to questions. First we have from Joe. Joe A. Has Tailwords ever, or Joe listen, you're Joe A, dog, alright? Has Tailwords ever discussed about vassal kingdoms or being able to peacefully bring rebel towns back? Vassal kingdoms, I think you mean like, can your vassals create their own kingdoms? Since technically you can go from companion to vassal now, and they said that they might look into, what was it? I forgot exactly what it was. Like a troop that can become a companion as well, or something along that lines. I don't know if they said that they're going to look into it, but they said that they might bring it up in discussion or something like that. But we haven't heard anything about vassals creating their kingdoms. I have talked about this for a very long time. I've advocated for a very long time. If we were able to have like the reason for example, the reason I don't play after, let's say, for example, I dominate like half the map or like the whole map, there's no reason to keep playing what would be very cool is if other kingdoms can like start like forming up. You know what I mean? Like, for example, a town rebels, then another town rebels. Let's say like four towns rebel like all in unison within like 10 in-game days, right? They all rebel, and then they like pretty much say, these four have proclaimed a kingdom, right? And all of a sudden, there's a new kingdom that's forming right there. And then you're gonna see some of guys on your team start leaving, some guys on other teams start leaving, or other kingdoms, right? Not teams, but kingdoms. So that would be so cool if we had that constant like new kingdom forming, and like the names could be like whatever the first and secondary clan culture is. You know what I mean? Like if it's Battanian and Vlandia, like put like two Vlandian, I mean put one Vlandian and one Battanian word together, and like make it something like that, and then just have like random kingdoms just keep popping up. That would be so good. I don't know what that takes, but that would be like that would put like the icing on the cake. I'll be honest with you. Just to have kingdoms just randomly like just start up, you know what I mean? And it would be also very cool. For example, if we can change their oh my god, this would be insane. You know, in the beginning when you choose your culture, like and you get the bonuses, what would be cool is if those kingdoms, whenever they come together, they take like a mix and match of bonuses from the two different culture choices, right? So if they were Vlandian, mainly Vlandian and partly Battanian, for example, let's say like their culture things like bonuses got like just rearranged. You know what I mean? That would be so cool. You know what I mean? It would add so much flavor, so much taste. And I think it could be done. I don't know if it could be done, but I think it would be great. Have they talked about it? No. They kind of said like, we don't know. It's not. They haven't xed it out, but they're not working on it currently, is what they said. Then they said, or being able to peacefully bring rebel towns back, like negotiations. No, they have not talked about it, but I don't think anybody's asked. Maybe someone's asked, but I've never seen them respond to something like that. That'd also be kind of cool. Maybe they did, but it's not something that I remember, so I don't think so. Next, moving on. We have a person saying maybe they are rewriting the code somewhat. They are also moving to a new office. Maybe they will tease new features for the holidays. Naval will build your own hideouts or upgrade to a town. I think. I know they had an earthquake too. Yeah, whenever I said that they had an earthquake, everyone in the comments just completely ate me up. They were like, "Man, don't use this as an excuse." Oh my god, bro, how much did they pay you, dog? I'm just like, dog. I'm just reporting what I saw. But nah, I don't think they're rewriting the code. They said it's just a lot of issues with bringing it to PlayStation and Xbox. It's really like there's a lot of blocking issues when it comes to cross-platform, like transition or whatever. They said there's a lot of problems with that. That's what they're really dealing with. And now with the problem with patch 1.2.5, with like obviously the battle bug. Now they have to kind of redo that before they can move to live. So it kind of sucks. I don't think we're gonna see patch 1.3 on Christmas. I don't think so. Maybe if they really tighten up, but I don't think so. I do think we're gonna see the move to live though of 1.2 before Christmas. I think so. I think it would be like it would just be a complete. I said flounder, but like a complete like misfire if they wait till after like New Year's. I think if you want more people to play, especially on Xbox and PlayStation, releasing 1.2 to live and also like making like a YouTube video or something like that would be a good push to like get people to keep playing, because people have been waiting for those console cheats for a while now. But yeah, and also I don't think Naval is coming. I'll be honest with you. They said it's kind of like dead in the water. Hey, no pun intended, but that was a good pun, dog. Holy, I popped off. Hey, listen. On that note, yeah, I'm out of here. All right, that's your news recap, and I'll see you in the next one. Jesus, bro, I'll be cracking myself up, man. All right, man, I'm out of here.